Reggie Rock. Welcome to our top 8 of our brand new format. This is our VGC video game challenge. I'm Arnie Wolf, this is Dennis Geisler, and Reggie Rock is going to be on stream.
So, an important piece of history for you and for the audience. In the past year at Psycho Turtle, every single Reggie has reached top cut, except for Reggie Rock until today.
Which is wild that every Reggie has had.
I think Tyler has been most of them.
I think so. We've definitely seen Tyler play Reggie Seal, although Brandon was playing Reggie Seal today too.
Yeah.
But you're going to see Tyler and Junxi playing here. Tyler on the left with Calyrex Ice Rider, Rillaboom, Volcarona, Reggie Rock, Reggie Rock. Raging Bolt and Annihilate, and Junxi on the right with Calyrex Ice Rider, Landers Incarnate, Grim Snarl, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Amoonguss, and Iron Hands. So what's very interesting to me too is this is a Terra Normal Calyrex Ice Rider without Facade. Last week Junxi was running Facade over high horsepower. That's been switched to high horsepower as we see here, but it's still Terra Normal. So I guess dodging some Shadow Riders. Yep. Doesn't dodge Body Press though.
And I feel like we should acknowledge Tyler's team, even aside from the Reggie Rock, is pretty interesting. Has the Volcarona. This is a very utility Volcarona. Only Bug Buzz is an attacking move. Will-O-Wisp, Rage Powder, Protect. And also the Annihilate, but Scarf, as you might have seen, Shadow Claw, Close Combat, Final Gambit, and Coaching.
And let's get right into the action here. Urshifu and Calyrex lead for Junxi, while Tyler going to lead Annihilate Calyrex. Two options here. Very scary if you're Junxi. You're like, okay. Do I go for
Final Gambit?
The Final Gambit? Or do I go for the coaching? You gotta pick one. And yeah, you know, the interesting thing about this is this Urshifu, it's Mystic Water, so it will go down to a Final Gambit.
Yeah, it is slower and it does not have Focus Sash. But it does have Detect.
Question is now, is it a double detect? It is not. The Calyrex is gonna stay up for Junxi. Are going to see both Calyrex move here. It's a Glacial Lance from Junxi's, which may be faster unless Tyler clicks that Trick Room. And the answer is Tyler clicked the Trick Room, so we're not going to find out which Calyrex is faster.
It's an interesting decision because now you've locked your... I think the Annihilate has got to get out of there.
I like the idea. Are we going to see Reggie Rock? I actually think...
I'm just curious where this is going for Tyler.
Tyler's not in a terrible spot, to be honest.
It's not horrific, it's just... I'm curious where this is going.
Yeah. I think you gotta go high horse. If you're Tyler, you got a high horse onto the Urshifu. That should put Regirock into body press range. Chances are there's not going to be... Unless Junxi reads the switch on Annihilate, which obviously it will, but then there's the Volcarona. So I feel like the Surging Strike is kind of in a good spot to go into the left slot for Tyler, which is that Reggie Rock!
Oh, I'm so happy to see Reggie Rock.
Yeah.
Cheers from the crowd. High horsepower does absolutely nothing.
That is big news there for Tyler, because that Surging Strikes is going to connect with the Calyrex, and that is not hitting the Reggie Rock. Reggie Rock's going to be able to go for either a Body Press or Iron Defense.
If Trick Room.
That doesn't happen.
I don't want to deal with this Trick Room anymore.
Still not terrible. You have your Terra Poison, which is...
Yeah, no, I think this is actually totally fine for Tyler. That's the thing. I don't think that the Trick Room is that valuable for Tyler.
No, I don't
so undoing the Trick Room is totally fine.
Not to mention you still have your Choice Scarf Annihilate in the back, which is going to outspeed, I believe, everything on Junxi's side. So that's going to be good if you just happen to need some extra close combat or coaching support there.
And we were talking to Tyler about this. The big thing about this Reggie Rock is it is kind of a Terra Hog. It do eat up that Terra most of the time.
Does Calyrex take it?
I don't think it takes that.
It's going to be like 6 HP if it survives. Nope.
Yep. But not bad because it means that Calyrex doesn't get the Chilling Neigh boost off it.
Yeah. Question now is, did Junxi go for the Glacial or High Horsepower?
I don't know. High Horsepower would have been super effective, but Glacial Lance still does good damage. I don't think it actually would have done that much more damage.
No. Body Press doesn't do a ton onto Urshifu. I actually think there's a relatively... Oh, there's one call which is very interesting. I think you go into Volcarona right now, go for the Rage Powder, or you can just coaching. That's the tough part. Or you could Final Gambit onto the Urshifu. But Final Gambit on Calyrex. Won't KO. It's not gonna have enough
Who
HP.
cares?
I think you should. Yeah, it's not so bad. I actually would have clicked close
Or
combat.
just like close combat, I think
Yeah.
might be better. I forgot that Final Gambit worked like that.
Yeah. I know it feels like just an instant trade, but
It feels like a funny. It feels like the funny, the
funny-
funny KO
yeah.
button.
Shadow Claw gonna go first here.
Ooh.
There's some
I
good news.
I like the Shadow Claw. I wish it had
too.
aimed at the Calyrex. But
Um,
now the Glacial Lance is gonna knock out the Annihilate.
yeah. Regirock's taken this hit though, like really well. Actually,
Regirock does have like colossal like physical defense.
and even though Calyrex is gonna be at a +1, Regirock's gonna be at a
Uh-oh.
+2.
The setup.
Here's what's interesting.
Be afraid.
This isn't a horrible position. I still think this is a very clear game for Junxi right now, and there's one
Yeah,
specific reason.
because Junxi has 4 Pokemon
Yeah.
remaining.
I do
Because Junxi's lost a little bit of HP on 1 Pokemon. It's at least down to 1.5 Pokemon left.
I do think, Tyler could at least survive with the Regirock. It's not in a bad spot. It's gonna take Glacial Lances really well. But the Landorus is what I think you're scared of. I actually think Tyler could have been able to stall out Iron Hands and maybe Amoonguss. Surging Strike's going to connect here with this Volcarona. Doesn't get burned on that first Surging Strike, so it is going to get rid of Tyler's Volcarona here.
Yeah, get on
There's
the
the
second one though. Yeah, I think the problem here is that now you don't have any way to redirect a Landorus, which
Yeah.
means that you lose.
Yeah, pretty much.
which means his battle's done.
Yep. But here's how much this does at plus. It's +1 on Calyrex, it's +2
Crit?
defense.
No.
40 HP, so not bad.
It's good damage, honestly. But I think this battle's over.
If it's Landorus, it is absolutely.
Even if it's not Landorus, like if it's Amoonguss, Amoonguss comes in and spores it and the battle's over.
Yeah.
If it's Iron Hands, Iron Hands comes in.
Well, you
and
see, if it's Amoonguss, you rely on the power of flinch with Rock Slide, but it's Landorus, so we're not going to see that happen. Yeah, this is. I think we did see a relatively. That was a good show. I think we saw a relatively great showcase of Regirock. It's super bulky. I mean, the thing is,
I think Regirock got showcased okay. It's that nothing else on the team did
Yeah, you nailed
anything of note.
You nailed it. and I do think.
And that's not to say that Regirock put in like a ton of work. Like we didn't see it get to do work.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the problem with these Regis, especially the ones that Tyler runs, like the Regi Steel, is that they're really passive.
I think.
So there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot that you can actually like. You need something else to exert pressure, or you need a way to take off pressure. And I think in this case, because that's the thing, is that what Tyler used to do with the Regi Steel was run it with Cresselia.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that. Like, you can't get the same kind of healing support as you did with Cresselia with this setup.
No.
You have leftovers, you do have some regen, but like Regirock is trying to sit there for 6-7 turns setting up and getting everything it wants to do.
Yeah.
And you're going to be taking chip damage all throughout that from Pokemon that are setting up, or Pokemon that are getting just free hits off, or Pokemon that are like big wall breakers. And it's
Yeah.
like,
it's not. It's
you
not
have
a
to have
good
an answer.
spot.
You have to you have to either be able to put pressure down while Regirock sets up,
Yeah.
or like in order so Regirock doesn't take damage. Like I think you need to get the Calyrex out of the way.
Yeah. I think
Like
so
not
too.
like knock it out, but at least have it not standing there. And that's the problem, is that the best way to get rid of it, I think, is the Volcarona.
Yeah, this isn't a terrible lead. Again, it's the same leads we saw last game for both teams here. We did.
Gambit the Calyrex.
I know. I mean, you put the pressure on it, and then you can get your Trick Room going. But I think the hard part is there's like no momentum with that. And so
Even Shadow Claw
yeah,
with
I was gonna say
Calyrex,
coaching
just
is actually.
for coaching. I
think
guess
I think coaching plus
coaching Trick Room would be good.
everything for the final gambit too. But I think
Just hit the Calyrex.
Yeah.
It's the stupid thing.
is it gonna protect? It did. Yeah, Junxi read that. Tyler is laughing. He's like, yeah, Junxi knew what was gonna happen there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's the second 50-50 in a row.
It's not-
50-50 pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is why Final Gambit's really kind of unfortunate.
At the very least, this isn't as bad of a situation as the previous game.
No.
'Cause as much as Calyrex takes a bunch of damage here, It doesn't take over half, and Annihilate can click Final Gambit again next turn.
Yeah.
Or it'll get Trick Room, but
that's interesting.
it can still click Final Gambit again next turn.
I think you Final Gambit Glacial Lance, right? Because that kind of forces Junxi.
Perhaps.
Yeah, that forces Junxi into going for a Trick Room. I personally. Tyler.
This is why they call Pokemon the beautiful game.
Tyler.
This is why they call Pokemon the beautiful game.
I mean, it's one of those things where you gotta make those calls. I was. Yeah, okay, this is actually a better position for Tyler because.
What do you mean?
No, well, than what I was initially thinking Tyler was getting themselves into. You're still in Trick Room, and Regirock does outspeed both in Trick Room.
Yeah, and then what?
You cry? I don't know.
It's like, and
Actually,
then what
the Final Gambit didn't do that bad.
This is 40%.
This is better than I thought. Okay, no, I think your play. I mean, you're still in Trick Room.
You can't.
Here's the play: Terra Poison Body Press on this
You have
Calyrex,
to Terra your Volcarona.
and then you Will-O-Wisp the Earthshaker.
You have to Terra your Volcarona. You can't. Yeah, you can't not Terra your Volcarona here. You have to Terra it.
Should have Will-O-Wisp, which is good, but I. Does Body Press? The question now is: does Body Press KO Calyrex, and will Junxi reverse the Trick Room? I think Junxi will reverse the Trick Room here. You just kind of detect and.
I think you just
reverse
want
the
to do
Trick Room.
damage here. I don't think reversing the Trick Room actually does anything for you.
You do outspeed the rest of the game. It's still not great. I mean, you still have Landorus in the back and Moongus.
It's like who cares? It's Regirock.
Regirock.
Like, I don't know. I feel like just hitting the Regirock is probably more valuable, especially hitting the Volcarona, because I think your only loss condition is Volcarona being on the field when Landorus comes out.
Yeah. Because redirecting that is
and I think just doing more damage to Volcarona is more valuable than
it is
reversing Trick Room or whatever.
Yeah. We'll allow. Oh, we're gonna see a Terrestrial as well. This has gotta be Terra Water on our
No, it's
right?
Terra Normal. Aww.
I was like, that would have been so funny. Yeah,
I would have been so happy if it was Terra Normal.
I would have been so funny. Terra Normal into a Body Press user. Yeah,
I would have been so happy.
Good Rage Powder there.
It's a Rage Powder. Need the first burn on this.
This burn's pretty good. It's also safety goggles Volcarona. Let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
In case the Amoonguss comes out, which it could. I think Lando.
I mean, I think Amoonguss is probably the fourth.
I'd imagine so.
There's the glance.
That does so much on the Volcarona.
That's a lot on the Volcarona. Oh,
Yeah, that's why.
that's great. That makes sense.
Will the Surging Strikes, when's the burn gonna happen? Chances are, statistically,
Come on.
not after one.
Come on. Volcarona.
Not after two.
Volcarona.
And that is basically gonna wrap it up here.
And it didn't even proc.
It was the best. I mean, at that point, Tyler was basically hoping for the burn. It did not burn at all.
The crit was impactful, I will at least say.
The crit mattered.
Without the crit, an earlier burn, it still wouldn't have been this game. This game was still over anyways, but
I'm just curious.
Ooh.
This is a +2.
Now hold on.
Rock. How much? How much does it do?
What do you mean? How much does it do? It's
like 50 to 70.
It's gonna crit.
No, the body press onto Amoonguss.
Oh, the body press onto Amoonguss?
Is this 50 or 70?
I could see like 70. That did nothing.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it's like very resisted, but
Still.
I thought Regirock was gonna do more than that.
I did too.
I thought Regirock was real like that.
I have noticed with body press users, they do a lot less damage if they are not stabbed. Good showing from the Regirock, but Junxi was able to stay sturdy and come out with a win.
Yeah, there were many strange choices over the course of that battle.
I do feel bad for Tyler because game 1, the final gambit into the Urshifu detects. Game 2, final gambit into the Calyrex protects.
I'll at least agree that read was tough.
Yeah.
But I think clicking Trick Room twice in a row with your restricted was not the best decision, not the best use of your restricted.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky spot with Regirock being so slow, and then you have the Amoonguss in the back, which is going to outspeed it in Trick Room, and then the Landorus, which will outspeed it outside of Trick Room. It just wasn't a great matchup for Regirock, as happy as I am to see it on stream, because it's amazing.
And hey, it still got the top cut.
It got top cut. It's getting points.
It's getting points, and it's getting on the graphic, which is the most important thing. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back with semifinals just a moment. Don't go anywhere.